Welcome to this special edition of the Hamilton County Sports Show. We have the honor this afternoon to have some time with new head coach of the Fishers Tigers, Matt Moore. Matt, first of all, welcome to Fishers High School and the Fishers community. We're glad to have you here in town. Tell us a little bit about your basketball background and what you've been up to before you came here to Fishers.
You bet. Well, it's great to be here. The transition has gone well. The last 3 years, I was at Kokomo High School as the boys' head basketball coach. Prior to that, I spent 5 years at Mount Vernon Nazarene University in Ohio as the head basketball coach. Prior to that, I did a little stint at Grace College, my alma mater, and played at Grace. And right out of college, I had a 3-year stint at Logansport for a little bit. So, had some variety in my basketball experiences in terms of coaching the last 16 years, but it leads us here today, and it's been great.
Good. Well, let's just talk about this new season that we're just getting into here. You know, since the rules have changed and coaches are able to work with kids in the summer, I know that's kind of changed how you have done things. And normally, shortly after you know, the end of the previous season, you're starting to plan things, and you have probably had a little less time to plan things here than you normally would have. But let's just talk about a little bit about what went on last spring and summer practices this year. How did they go?
Good. You know, I think the hardest thing coming in initially is just trying to find a pulse of who you have. And I think the thing we tried to establish early on was consistency in what we want in our culture, what we want our guys to come in and be prepared to do. You know, we really stress kind of 4 areas that they control. The first is their attitude, the second would be their effort, the third is their enthusiasm, and the fourth is their communication. And so everything kind of stemmed around those 4 things this spring and this summer, trying to establish an identity of kind of being as a team and playing for one another and playing together. And you know, you don't really know where you're at until the ball tips up and the season starts. And so we kind of got a taste of that last Tuesday, and we've been able to make some progress here in this first, you know, two weeks of the season to kind of find out who we are and where we need to go from here.
So overall, how did the summer practice and games go for you?
You know, good. You know, we try not to put too much in. We try to have an emphasis defensively for the most part, of trying to establish who we want to be and how we want to guard people. You know, anytime you come into a new situation, you have to start from scratch and try to build habits and build consistencies in what you're trying to, you know, think it gives you an opportunity to compete in conference play and then in the sectional that we have. So, you know, we had some good experiences. We played in Ohio at Cedarville University. We had some teams in Indiana we played. We tried to spend more time just reps and you know, a lot of shots and time in the gym together practicing more so than just playing games. I would practice more than I'd like to play, so we tried to go that route this summer.
Let's talk about your senior class this year. According to what I saw here, you've got 6 seniors on the team this year, so you've got a pretty good experienced crew coming back.
Yes and no. We have experience in a few key players. You know, as we look at our group and the breakdown of the classes, we really try to identify guys that we feel can add value, and whether that's in particular games or it's in a practice setting. Each of those seniors, I think, adds value in a particular way that can help our program. And you know, each night they may get called on, some nights they may not, but as we look at our schedule, we look at the growth of the season, what we need to have to get ready by February, the end of, you know, March, I think they are going to have some experience. Jeremy Salaji is one of the seniors that comes back from a starting role from last year. Our 2 juniors, Terry Hicks and Willie Jackson, are the other 2 that have some varsity experience. So in that sense, we don't have a ton of experience back, but we have guys that have been in the battlefield a little bit, which has helped kind of navigate this first couple months.
I had a chance to see the game against Manual last night, and first half it was kind of a nip and tuck, very, very tight game, but in the second half you guys just took control of the game, especially Mr. Hicks, and he did a marvelous job in that second half.
He did, you know, and I think that was a great test for us because we had come back from a few tough days of practice, guys still trying to find themselves in terms of competitiveness and continuing to you know, improve and find ways to improve when there's not results that you want coming off the LC game. And I think it was a great stand for us of kind of where we're at and what we're dealing with. And I thought our guys did a great job in the first half of playing through a physical game. We were in foul trouble early. Our bench gave us a great spark, and it kind of led us into that second half where Terry did some things that were really nice. And I thought we played within ourselves. We didn't try to force things. We didn't play one-on-one. We just kind of took what they gave us and we stretched it out.
How about younger players up and coming for you?
Alex Salaji is a sophomore. Has started one game and then been in rotations a little bit. We have a few JV guys that I think are doing some really good things. DeAndre Nichols is a young guy that was on the B team last year as a freshman. Justin Long, Dominic Castellani. Those guys are doing great things for us. I think they'll have some experience coming up. But right now, the only sophomore that's really going to contribute at the varsity level is going to be Alex Salaji.
Let's talk a little bit about your schedule in the conference. Let's just talk about the Hoosier Crossroad Conference first. I talked to a lot of people around central Indiana, and most people say between the MIC and the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, they're probably a couple of the best conferences in the state of Indiana, and competition is fierce in that conference.
It is, and that's part of the intrigue for me about this job initially was, you want to go where you can be tested, and in both those leagues and even our sectional are night in and night out great coaches and great players and programs that have been established. You're going to see a variety of teams and styles, from zones to pressing teams, and that's what we got to be tested with. I think as we go through this season, we try to find kind of where we fit in that mix. We have our first opportunity at conference play this Friday night against Noblesville. So. Very familiar with Coach McCauley, as he and I both are from Kokomo previously. So it'll be good for us. It'll be a good test, and it's good to get that first win under our belt and see if we can go into conference play.
Let's just talk a little bit about your schedule. Coming out of the gate, you guys have already got, as you say, into the third game, but in looking at things, you've got about 7 or 8 games that are against either highly ranked teams or teams with Sagarin ratings that are pretty impressive. How do you approach those games?
It's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. If you look at it in the chunks that we have coming up, I think we got a 6-game stretch, and we're going to play top 10 teams. For us, we just have to be good at what we're trying to do in that game. I think we've got a little flavor outside of our normal schedule this year. We picked up a Fort Wayne Snyder team, which feeds into our regional, which we've not ever played before. We picked up a Valparaiso and a Warsaw team that will test us in different ways than what we normally see in the Indianapolis area. So for us, it's important to be able to kind of challenge ourselves in different ways on our schedule. And it'll be good for our guys because, this week in particular is a sectional week in terms of the Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. And then, we come back with some blue teams on the schedule, and we got to get ready to play on the road for about a month. And it's exciting because I think for us, our guys have not been through this before, so therefore they don't know what to expect. And so that's kind of a good thing because they can kind of paint that picture as we go through the process. And so the schedule's challenging, but that's what you want. You want to get ready for that end of February, early March run.
As a new coach, coming in with a team that was fairly well established, and even as not as a new coach, what are your 3 primary goals for this season for you and the team?
For me, it's simple. It was play hard, play smart, and play together. I think if we do those things consistently, we're going to be in games. You're going to have to make plays still. You're going to have to hit free throws. You're going to have to rebound. But I think you can come and watch us play. And last night was an example against Manual. I thought our team played hard. I thought we played smart with the lead at times. I thought we played together down the stretch to find that win. And that's who we are. That's who we're going to have to be to beat the teams on our schedule. So. And those are things that I hope it's going to take time, and we understand that, but we're going to emphasize that each day, and that's what we're going to make sure we become, hopefully.
Well, many of your games this year will be available through Hamilton County Television, through your Fisher Sports Network, and then we'll be following you guys actually on Hamilton County Television on a couple of your road games that the Fisher Sports guys aren't going to be doing, but you guys will get a lot of good exposure in that. We look forward to seeing those games. Matt, congratulations on your new job, Coach Moore. We're glad to have you here in Hamilton County and in the HCC, and thank you for the time. We appreciate it. For the Hamilton County Television Sports Show, I'm Brad Silbert saying good day.